This is something I think that's kind of really cool about this movie is that, you know, it's definitely trying to work within the genre of the murder mystery, the whodunit type of thing, but it's also kind of trying to subvert it and change it a little bit, right? So it does exactly what you expect it to do in the very beginning, which is that it gives every single character a motive to want to kill Harlan, right? So you meet his whole family.
As any good murder mystery does.
Jamie Lee Curtis plays his oldest daughter, and she's married to Don Johnson, and we find out that Don Johnson is having an affair, which Harlan has found out about, and he's telling Don Johnson, you need to tell my daughter or I'm going to tell her, you know, so immediately gives Don Johnson a motive to want to kill him. Then you find out that his youngest son, who's played by Michael Shannon, is essentially the guy who is running he's a famous novelist. So this is the guy that's running his publishing company. And what you find out is that he's constantly hounding him about, like, we need to sell the rights and we need to be able to adapt it to like a Netflix TV show. We need to be able to like sell it to the movies. And Harlan will not give up any of the rights to any of his books. It's just like, no, we don't, they're my books. We're not selling the rights. So he's going to eventually cut him out of the business. He's telling him, like, listen, I should have allowed you to build your own empire. I've made you work for me for so long. Like, I'm taking you off of the publishing business. So immediately, boom, he's got his motive. Toni Collette, at one point, we find out that she is actually the daughter-in-law. She was married to one of the sons who passed away. And he has been financially supporting her for the past 15 years. And not only supporting her, but putting the granddaughter through college. And what he learns is that she's been double dipping, where he's been paying the college directly, but he's also been sending a payment to her, and she hasn't been distinguishing between I'll pay it versus you send it to the college. She's been basically for the past however many years taking 2 payments on her own. So he's like, hey, I found out about this error, and I'm not going to pay for anything else anymore because you've been taking advantage of me. So it's this whole thing where it sets up for every single main character a motive to want to kill him. So at the very beginning of the movie, you're like, oh shit, we now know everyone has a reason to want to kill him. And my anticipation was going to be that now the rest of the movie is going to be us trying to figure out who it was and why. But what the movie does in a kind of a slick, interesting way is that as soon as it establishes the motives for all the people that may want to kill him, it shows what happened. It gives you a very it's like, okay, now that you think all these people may have wanted to kill him, what really happened was... I remember saying early
on, though, too. I remember saying early on, even before all the motives were given, like, I was like, I bet it's the nurse. And you know what it was that made me think that?
Because she's the one you least expect, right?
Exactly. She's just so sweet, and she seems like there's nothing, you know, untoward about her character or ulterior motives, or like... Because in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I'm like waiting for it to be like, oh, is she fucking him or something? Or, you know...
She's trying to get his money intentionally, or
that's what you're like. That's what we're hardwired and conditioned from watching all these kinds of movies.
Well,
to
that's
think, like,
that's
and it wasn't what was the case,
right? And
it was almost more like she was like a granddaughter to him in some way, and she was good.
And that's why Rian Johnson was so smart about the way he did this, was that he knew exactly what you'd be expecting, and was like, all right, so now that I've done this first act and I've given everybody what they expect, before we spend the next hour and a half trying to make it be, well, who did what? It's going to be like, let me just lay it out for him.
It's more like a whodunit for the cast. It's like the audience knows, but it's like the cast doesn't know, right?
That's exactly what it is. It's like
then you get to watch them all trying to figure it out.
The audience has the information that the characters don't have, where usually it's the characters have information that the audience doesn't have.